They're the same age, they went to the same school, and now they're fierce opponents determined to outdo each other on November 27. I posed the same questions this week to leaders John Brumby and Ted Baillieu about life in the political spotlight. It's considered one of the most privileged and expensive schools in the country. Melbourne Grammar tells its students they all have the capacity to lead. But in the matriculation class of 1970, neither John Brumby or Ted Baillieu looked like leaders. As the Melbourne Grammar records show, however, they did both display an aptitude for sport.
We were in a group of two together, and I guess we were probably in a group of mischief makers, but it was all very friendly, and they were good memories, I guess. But there we were at school together, and this is how it's come to be. So perhaps there was an element of fate in that.
So I wasn't big on academia, although I ended up doing, pretty well. But, that wasn't my forte, really. My forte was sport. I wasn't big on the rules and regulations and, never have been.
John Brumby went on to become a teacher but has now been in politics for 27 years.
He's making a television commercial. Nothing subtle about his message, but there's a style about his delivery.
We're giving country kids a flying start in education.
A style that has him labelled the sex symbol of the housewives.
Ted Baillieu graduated as an architect but has been involved in Liberal Party politics since the late 80s.
I'm not going to talk a great deal now. Many of you will know I'm not exactly the most garrulous person in the world anyway.
What does this election mean for you? How important is it?
Well, it's obviously important for me, but in my view it's much more important for the people of Victoria. After 11 years of the current government, and this is not a moment to get political, but after 11 years of the current government, if the people of Victoria do want to change, they're going to have to vote for change and vote the Labor Party out of office.
Is it do or die?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm committed to the cause. I'm committed to this election. That's really where my focus is.
Every election is important, and I know a lot of people say, well, this is a big thing for John Brumby because this is a chance to win an election and be elected as Premier, and that's important, but it's not a huge thing for me.
Is it do or die?
I don't usually think in those terms. I'm a bit of a believer that, as I said, in politics, it's hard work and it's good management, and then there's always an element of fate or good luck or bad luck, whatever comes your way.
One of Mr Baillieu's pet projects is Second Bite. It picks up leftover fresh produce from markets that would otherwise end up as waste and distributes it to welfare agencies. For both leaders, time is something there isn't enough of.
You have to cope with it, so you adjust, and it's hard for family, but you adjust and you make the most of the time that you do have, and that's what I try and do, that's what Robin tries to do.
And would you do it all again?
You bet, you bet. The opportunities are extraordinary, and I've had opportunities to do things, see things, meet people that I otherwise would never have had a chance to do. But beyond that, you actually have an opportunity to contribute and to make change which affects people's lives.
With any big job, the constant demands and the scrutiny, I suppose, of personal life, private life, family, I think it's a difficult profession for families. Probably always has been, but probably more so with 24-hour media cycle, constant scrutiny.
And would you do it all again?
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't hesitate. Yeah. No, so I've been, I've been so lucky. I've always worked hard. I would, whatever people think of John Brumby, I've always worked hard, always put my heart and soul into it. But I've also been lucky along the way.
John Brumby's weekend passion is the land. He owns a property at Harcourt, and beyond politics, that's where his heart lies.
For me now, if I do move on to something else at this stage in life, it's probably our sort of pet love, which is the land. So it's farming, and Rosemary and I love that, and we've got a bit of land at the moment, and we love getting outdoors. We love planting trees. We love raising animals. We like farming, and so whatever I do in the future, that's eventually where I'll end up.
Well, one thing I can say I've missed out on is that as an architect I haven't really developed my CAD skills, so I'd have to go back and do a bit of that. But I'm really just focused on the job at hand and the election before us. What I miss is that time with family, but really I have a long-term commitment to politics.
Because it is the first plan of its type.
Politics, it said, is only for those with a tough hide, and it's generally the leaders who cop the most criticism and scrutiny. What do you say to those people who say that you and your government are arrogant?
Well, I try not to be. You know, my late father was a great listener, and he probably got better as he got older in life, actually. And I guess when you're young, you're impatient to get things done, and I've always been a bit impatient. You know, my mother would say that about me. You know, you can get overzealous and want to do things, and maybe people think that's arrogance.
What's your reaction to the criticism from Rob Holes we saw in the weekend newspapers? He said you lacked mental toughness or the passion for politics. What do you say to him?
What Rob Holes has to say demonstrates just how out of touch the Brumby government have become, that they actually think that people might be listening.
Are you confident about winning?
I am. I'm confident we've done the right thing. I'm confident that we have the right team. We've got a very strong team, and we've got a very, very clear plan, and I'm very comfortable with that.
I'd like to win, you know, and I'll work very hard to try and ensure we win, but it'll be very close.